The phone rang precisely at 7:23 p.m. on Thursday when an unfamiliar man calmly asked whether I was Thomas because something unbelievable demanded my immediate attention. His steady voice introduced himself as Claire's new husband before explaining he had discovered my name attached to every financial account she secretly controlled. For several silent seconds I couldn't answer because Claire and I had divorced 5 years earlier, leaving me convinced I owned absolutely nothing afterward. I stood frozen beside my workshop door while painful memories returned, reminding me how completely I believed our marriage had ended without hidden unfinished business. My name is Thomas James Parker, 46 years old, earning an honest living crafting custom furniture inside the small workshop behind my quiet neighborhood home. Although life felt lonely after divorce, I gradually accepted my simple routine, believing peace mattered far more than chasing money or revisiting painful memories forever. Claire abandoned our marriage for Richard, a wealthy businessman owning successful hardware stores, insisting I would never become the ambitious husband she truly deserved. During divorce proceedings, her aggressive attorney presented convincing financial documents proving Claire supposedly possessed almost nothing valuable under her personal legal ownership whatsoever. Exhausted from endless courtroom arguments, I signed every document without resistance because protecting my peace seemed far more important than fighting over uncertain possessions. For 5 years I believed everything had ended fairly, never imagining hidden secrets quietly waited beneath the surface, preparing to completely transform my ordinary existence forever. Richard's trembling voice interrupted my thoughts, explaining he had recently examined Claire's financial records while purchasing another business requiring complete transparency before finalizing important agreements. He admitted discovering several accounts carrying my legal name, including substantial savings, valuable investments, and property documents nobody had ever mentioned throughout our divorce process. My heart pounded uncontrollably because I had never opened those accounts, invested that money, or signed documents suggesting ownership of hidden financial assets anywhere previously. Every painful memory suddenly gained disturbing new meaning, forcing me to question everything Claire had claimed during our marriage, separation, and emotionally exhausting divorce proceedings together. Richard sounded genuinely disturbed instead of defensive, insisting honesty mattered more than protecting uncomfortable secrets that should never have remained hidden from their rightful owner. He explained finding over $42,000 inside one savings account alongside investments exceeding $100,000 registered partially under my legal identity. Hearing those unbelievable figures left me speechless, because my modest workshop barely covered everyday expenses, while hidden wealth silently existed without my knowledge for years. Questions flooded my mind simultaneously, making it impossible to understand why Claire secretly kept my name connected with financial assets carefully concealed during our painful separation. Richard apologized sincerely, explaining he never realized Claire had hidden important financial information because she controlled nearly every document related to their household finances personally. He firmly declared I deserved complete truth regardless of uncomfortable consequences, promising transparency because remaining silent would make him equally responsible for continuing devastating deception forever. I slowly sat upon my weathered porch steps, gripping my phone tightly while struggling to accept reality that completely contradicted everything I believed about my past. Every sacrifice I made during divorce suddenly felt heavier because trust, honesty, and fairness appeared replaced by carefully planned deception hiding beneath convincing legal paperwork instead. Richard promised sending every supporting document immediately, emphasizing he wanted absolutely nothing concealed anymore because truth deserved daylight regardless of painful personal consequences for everyone involved. Confused by his unexpected kindness, I finally asked why he would willingly help the former husband of the woman he had chosen to marry. Without hesitation, Richard answered honesty defined his character, adding he could never knowingly protect injustice after discovering undeniable evidence proving someone had been deeply wronged unfairly. His words carried remarkable sincerity, making me realize genuine integrity sometimes arrives through completely unexpected people rather than familiar faces once trusted without question previously. After ending the call, silence surrounded my porch while countless unanswered questions echoed inside my mind, refusing to disappear despite desperate attempts remaining emotionally composed. For years I focused only upon rebuilding life instead of questioning suspicious details because accepting loss seemed easier than reopening emotional wounds refusing complete closure afterward. Now, every forgotten memory demanded fresh examination, revealing possibilities I had ignored while desperately convincing myself moving forward required never looking backward toward painful experiences again. Before sunset that unforgettable evening, I understood one unexpected phone call possessed enough power to completely rewrite everything I believed about my past, present, and future. I had absolutely no idea that tomorrow's meeting with Richard would reveal documents capable of changing my life forever while uncovering long-buried truths impossible to ignore. The following afternoon, I arrived at a quiet coffee shop where Richard already waited, holding a thick folder that immediately captured my complete attention forever. He greeted me respectfully before sliding the folder across the table, encouraging me to examine every document without fear because every page contained undeniable evidence. My hands trembled while opening the folder, discovering account statements, investment records, property deeds, and official paperwork carrying my legal name throughout every single page. Each document appeared authentic, professionally prepared, and legally registered, leaving almost no possibility that everything inside could somehow be fabricated or accidentally misunderstood completely. Richard quietly explained he discovered everything while organizing financial records required for upcoming tax preparations and expanding another business under their shared household responsibilities recently. He admitted becoming suspicious after repeatedly noticing my name appearing beside Claire's across investments and ownership records she had never previously discussed with him. The deeper he investigated those files, the more hidden financial assets surfaced, convincing him something serious had been deliberately concealed from everyone involved for years. Looking directly into my eyes, Richard admitted keeping those secrets would betray his conscience because honesty mattered far more than protecting uncomfortable family relationships forever. I slowly examined every account statement, struggling to understand how enormous financial assets quietly existed while I believed my future depended entirely upon hard work. One property deed listed my legal name beside Claire's, proving valuable real estate remained partially connected to me despite our divorce becoming legally finalized years earlier. Another folder contained investment statements showing steady financial growth while I struggled financially, completely unaware those profits silently accumulated under my forgotten legal ownership interests. Every page intensified overwhelming disbelief because nothing matched the financial picture Claire presented throughout exhausting divorce negotiations that permanently changed my understanding of fairness and trust. For several minutes, neither of us spoke, allowing silence to settle between us while painful realization slowly replaced confusion with undeniable heartbreaking certainty about everything discovered today. Finally, Richard apologized once again, insisting he genuinely wished circumstances were different because nobody deserved learning such painful truths through unexpected accidental discoveries like these. I thanked him sincerely because exposing uncomfortable truth required tremendous courage, especially when doing so risked damaging trust inside his own marriage beyond repair forever. Richard admitted confronting Claire immediately would create serious conflict, yet remaining silent felt morally impossible after understanding the devastating consequences hidden deception caused throughout my life. Carefully organizing every document inside the folder, I realized my past suddenly appeared completely different from the version I accepted without questioning for 5 difficult years. Driving home afterward felt strangely surreal because familiar streets remained unchanged while my understanding of reality transformed with every passing mile toward my quiet neighborhood house. Inside my workshop, I spread every document across the wooden workbench where countless furniture projects once occupied my complete attention throughout lonely evenings after divorce. Sunlight streamed through dusty windows while account statements, legal records, investment summaries, and property papers silently revealed truths hidden behind carefully crafted courtroom presentations years earlier. The evidence appeared overwhelming, leaving almost no reasonable explanation except deliberate concealment during divorce proceedings designed to prevent fair financial distribution between both former spouses completely. Anger briefly surfaced inside my heart, tempting me toward immediate legal action that could expose everything Claire intentionally concealed throughout our painful separation and final settlement. Yet another quieter voice reminded me endless courtroom battles previously exhausted my spirit, stealing precious years I desperately wanted spent building something meaningful instead afterward. I closed the folder carefully before taking several deep breaths, understanding my next decision would shape not only my future but also the person becoming afterward. Money certainly mattered, yet emotional freedom suddenly seemed equally valuable because bitterness possessed frightening power to quietly destroy lives from deep within over countless passing years. Unsure what direction to follow, I thought about someone whose quiet kindness consistently brought comfort whenever life unexpectedly became difficult or emotionally overwhelming without asking anything. That person was Rachel, my thoughtful neighbor whose steady friendship gradually became one dependable source of encouragement throughout difficult years following my heartbreaking divorce from Claire. Without wasting another moment, I picked up my phone and asked whether I could visit because something extraordinary happened requiring honest conversation and trusted guidance immediately. Rachel warmly agreed without hesitation, reminding me her front porch remained open whenever I needed understanding instead of judgment during life's most confusing unexpected moments together. Carrying the mysterious folder beneath my arm, I walked toward Rachel's house, unaware this simple decision would quietly begin transforming my future beyond anything imaginable. Rachel welcomed me with her familiar gentle smile, inviting me onto the porch before noticing the heavy folder beneath my arm and my unusually troubled expression. She quietly handed me a warm cup of coffee before asking what happened because she immediately sensed something extraordinary had completely shaken my normally calm confidence. Taking a deep breath, I explained the unexpected phone call, Richard's surprising honesty, and every shocking document proving hidden assets secretly remained connected with my legal identity. Rachel listened patiently without interrupting once, allowing every painful memory and unbelievable discovery to leave my heart before offering thoughtful words filled with quiet compassion. When I finally finished speaking, she gently asked one important question that immediately silenced every emotional storm racing uncontrollably through my exhausted, confused mind afterward. She softly asked what I truly wanted now, because every future decision depended less upon money and far more upon protecting my own peace forever. Her question stayed inside my thoughts because revenge suddenly seemed less meaningful than finally understanding the truth hidden from me throughout those difficult, painful years. I admitted I wasn't desperate for hidden money because surviving honestly had already taught me the value of simple living and genuine inner peace instead. More than financial compensation, I wanted confirmation that my instincts had never been wrong when something always felt strangely incomplete after our heartbreaking divorce ended. Rachel nodded gently before reminding me trusting someone wholeheartedly never represented weakness, because honest people naturally expect honesty from those they genuinely love completely. She explained deception always belongs entirely to the person choosing lies, never the innocent individual believing promises made with convincing confidence throughout meaningful relationships together. Her calm wisdom slowly eased overwhelming anger, replacing emotional chaos with unexpected clarity, allowing me to examine everything without becoming consumed by bitterness or resentment anymore. Looking across the quiet neighborhood street, I realized Rachel never offered dramatic speeches, only thoughtful honesty that somehow carried greater strength than loud emotional reactions ever. I confessed considering legal action earlier, imagining long courtroom battles exposing every hidden financial secret Claire carefully buried beneath complicated paperwork and professional legal arguments before. Rachel asked whether winning another exhausting legal fight would truly heal years already stolen, or simply reopen emotional wounds finally beginning to close naturally over time. Her thoughtful words forced uncomfortable reflection because deep inside I already knew endless revenge rarely restores genuine happiness once precious years disappear forever from someone's life. Silence settled peacefully between us while evening sunlight painted golden colors across nearby houses, creating unexpected comfort despite everything dramatically changing inside my troubled heart today. After several quiet moments, Rachel gently reminded me healing sometimes begins when people stop chasing perfect justice and start protecting their own emotional freedom instead wholeheartedly. She encouraged me never to ignore truth, yet warned against allowing painful betrayal to permanently define the person I still possessed complete freedom becoming tomorrow onward. Listening carefully, I realized bitterness quietly steals tomorrow while pretending to punish yesterday, leaving innocent hearts imprisoned long after painful events finally disappear from ordinary life. Her words carried remarkable honesty because Rachel always valued peaceful strength above loud victories, teaching important lessons simply through consistent kindness and unwavering dependable character every day. I thanked her sincerely for listening without judgment because sharing overwhelming burdens somehow made impossible situations feel lighter than carrying painful secrets entirely alone any longer. Before leaving, Rachel reminded me whatever decision I eventually made should reflect the man I genuinely respected whenever looking honestly into the mirror each morning. Walking home, beneath the fading sunset, I carried the folder differently because its weight no longer represented anger, but rather an opportunity requiring thoughtful personal responsibility ahead. Inside my quiet workshop, I carefully organized every document again, determined to examine each page patiently before making choices capable of affecting several lives forever afterward. Hours passed while I reviewed financial statements, property records, investment summaries, and legal paperwork until every hidden connection finally became completely understandable beyond reasonable doubt entirely. Although undeniable evidence supported pursuing substantial compensation through court, my heart increasingly questioned whether another lengthy legal conflict truly deserved remaining years of my precious life. Near midnight, I reached one unexpected conclusion. Understanding wealth alone could never replace peace earned through forgiveness, honest relationships, and quietly rebuilding life with genuine purpose daily. Before sleeping that unforgettable night, I decided my next conversation would not begin inside a courtroom, but with Richard, revealing the future neither of us expected. The following morning, I called Richard, thanking him once again before explaining I had carefully reviewed every document and reached an unexpected personal decision overnight. Richard listened quietly while I admitted pursuing endless courtroom battles no longer appealed because peace carried greater value than years consumed by legal conflict afterward. He sounded surprised before asking whether I truly intended walking away despite overwhelming evidence proving hidden assets existed throughout the divorce without my knowledge previously. I answered honestly that exposing truth mattered deeply, yet allowing bitterness to control every remaining chapter of my life mattered far less than freedom instead. Richard respected my decision, promising he would still confront Claire because honesty demanded difficult conversations even when painful consequences threatened important personal relationships forever afterward. Before ending the call, he thanked me for responding with dignity rather than anger, admitting he probably would have reacted very differently under similar heartbreaking circumstances. Several quiet days passed while I returned to building custom furniture, allowing familiar routines to slowly restore calm after discovering truths impossible to forget completely ever. Each piece of wood beneath my hands reminded me life always offered opportunities to create something stronger after unexpected damage left painful marks behind forever otherwise. One peaceful evening, my phone rang again, displaying Claire's name for the first time since our divorce officially ended several difficult years before unexpectedly today. For several long seconds, I stared silently at the screen, wondering whether answering would reopen old wounds or finally provide genuine emotional closure at last. Taking one steady breath, I accepted the call, determined to remain calm, regardless of whatever explanation or apology Claire decided sharing after years of silence. Her voice sounded uncertain and emotional, immediately apologizing before admitting she should never have hidden financial assets throughout our painful divorce proceedings together years ago. Claire confessed fear controlled her decisions because losing money seemed unbearable, while overwhelming anger convinced selfish choices somehow protected her uncertain future permanently afterward instead. She admitted every dishonest action gradually became heavier with time, explaining guilt quietly followed her despite building an entirely different life beside Richard after leaving me. Throughout her emotional confession, I remained completely silent, allowing every sincere apology to reach my heart without interrupting or reopening unnecessary painful arguments from the past. When she finally stopped speaking, I calmly thanked her for telling the truth because honesty, although painfully delayed, still carried meaningful value beyond ordinary explanations today. I explained my life had changed dramatically since our divorce because I finally discovered peace impossible to purchase through money, property, or financial security ever. Claire quietly admitted Richard told her about Rachel, saying genuine kindness appeared visible whenever someone finally escaped years carrying unnecessary emotional burdens around everywhere daily. Hearing Rachel's name unexpectedly brought a small smile because her unwavering support quietly transformed my darkest moments into hopeful opportunities for healing and personal growth together. Claire sincerely said she felt happy knowing someone finally appreciated my loyalty, patience, and honest character instead of measuring worth through financial success alone anymore. For the first time since our marriage ended, I genuinely believed every word she spoke because regret sounded authentic rather than carefully rehearsed or strategically defensive. Instead of revisiting painful accusations, I wished Claire well, hoping she would build future relationships upon honesty instead of fear and hidden secrets forever afterward. She quietly thanked me for showing compassion despite everything she had done. Admitting forgiveness felt far more powerful than punishment ever could within human hearts truly. After ending the conversation, I noticed something remarkable because overwhelming anger I carried silently for years had completely disappeared without leaving painful emptiness behind anymore. Rather than feeling cheated, I strangely felt lighter. Understanding forgiveness never excused betrayal, but simply released innocent people from carrying unnecessary emotional chains forever afterward. That evening, I walked toward Rachel's house beneath peaceful skies, grateful another difficult chapter had finally closed without destroying the hopeful future slowly unfolding before me. Rachel greeted me warmly before immediately recognizing peaceful relief upon my face, understanding something important had quietly changed inside my heart without needing detailed explanations first. Sitting together beneath fading evening light, I shared everything Claire confessed, realizing every painful chapter somehow guided me toward the meaningful life standing before me today. Rachel smiled gently before reminding me real strength rarely appears through revenge, but through choosing hope whenever bitterness offers easier paths toward lasting emotional destruction instead. At that unforgettable moment, I finally understood forgiveness had never been Claire's greatest gift, because the greatest gift was discovering the peaceful person I became. Walking beside Rachel that peaceful evening, I realized genuine happiness quietly arrived after releasing resentment, instead of endlessly chasing revenge against painful memories forever afterward. For the first time in many years, tomorrow felt exciting, because my future finally depended upon hope instead of constantly reliving yesterday's heartbreaking disappointments and regrets. Standing together beneath countless stars, I found myself looking at Rachel differently, recognizing feelings quietly growing inside my heart long before discovering Claire's hidden financial secrets. She noticed my thoughtful silence before smiling warmly, asking whether something important remained unsaid, despite everything we already shared through honest conversations and unwavering mutual trust. Taking a steady breath, I admitted loving her for much longer than either of us openly acknowledged, beginning the day she brought homemade soup unexpectedly. Rachel laughed softly before admitting she recognized those feelings years earlier, patiently waiting until I fully healed before allowing our relationship naturally blossom together forever. Without another word, I gently kissed her beneath the quiet evening sky, feeling every painful chapter finally surrender to an entirely new beginning filled with hope. That simple heartfelt moment meant infinitely more than hidden money, because authentic love cannot be measured through bank accounts, investments, or expensive material possessions ever truly. Over the following months, our relationship continued growing naturally through trust, kindness, shared laughter, quiet evenings, and unwavering support during ordinary, everyday moments together always. Nearly 1 year later, I invited Rachel into my workshop, surrounding us with handcrafted furniture representing countless hours rebuilding both my career and personal confidence patiently. Holding her hands tightly, I asked whether she would spend the rest of her life beside me, creating honest memories replacing every painful chapter behind us. Before I could even finish speaking, Rachel joyfully accepted, smiling through happy tears, while wrapping her arms around me with overwhelming excitement and unconditional love forever. Our wedding remained beautifully simple, attended only by close family members, loyal friends, supportive neighbors, and people genuinely celebrating love instead of material wealth together. During the celebration, I noticed a small handwritten card quietly delivered from Claire, sincerely wishing both Rachel and me lifelong happiness without lingering resentment anymore afterward. I appreciated her thoughtful gesture before placing the card inside a drawer, deciding peaceful memories deserved greater attention than constantly revisiting painful chapters from my past. Eventually, I used part of the recovered financial assets, expanding my workshop, purchasing better equipment, hiring skilled employees, and creating opportunities benefiting hardworking families around me. The business flourished steadily because honest craftsmanship, loyal customers, and dedicated teamwork always produced stronger foundations than shortcuts built through secrecy or dishonest intentions ever could. Although friends occasionally questioned my sudden financial progress, I rarely discussed hidden accounts because my identity belonged to hard work rather than unexpected inheritance stories. Every Saturday, Rachel and I visited the local farmers market together, enjoying ordinary conversations, proving simple routines often create life's happiest, unforgettable, lasting memories naturally forever. Each peaceful evening ended upon our porch, where laughter replaced loneliness, gratitude replaced regret, and tomorrow always appeared brighter than yesterday ever seemed before together. Looking back now, I understand Richard's unexpected honesty completely changed my destiny, because courage sometimes arrives through strangers instead of lifelong familiar companions unexpectedly forever. His single phone call revealed hidden truth, yet my personal choices afterward determined whether that truth created endless bitterness or lasting emotional freedom inside my heart. Claire's mistakes undeniably caused painful consequences, but refusing forgiveness would have allowed those same mistakes controlling every remaining year of my precious life afterward unnecessarily. Rachel taught me love appears quietly through consistency, patience, compassion, encouragement, and dependable presence, rather than dramatic promises impossible sustaining throughout ordinary daily life together. She never demanded perfection, because genuine love grows strongest where honesty remains constant, forgiveness remains possible, and trust receives careful protection every single passing day always. Whenever difficult moments arrive now, I remember choosing peace instead of revenge, because that single decision transformed unimaginable heartbreak into remarkable lifelong happiness beyond expectations forever. If someone listening carries painful betrayal today, remember healing begins the moment bitterness loses control over tomorrow and hope quietly becomes stronger than yesterday's unforgettable wounds. Real victory rarely happens inside courtrooms or bank accounts, because the greatest triumph always comes from rebuilding an honest life nobody else's deception can ever destroy. My name is Thomas James Parker, and after everything life placed before me, I finally discovered lasting peace, genuine love, grateful purpose, and true home.